In an attempt to embrace the random that is our little podcast, we delve into several strange worlds of what if, testing the logic and consequences of questions like, what if water flows uphill? What if the internet was turned off for 24 hours or the magnetic poles reversed? But this wouldn't be this podcast if we didn't avoid the main questions like a coughing child in a hospital waiting room. So we meander off into topics such as the logic of panic buying, why freeze cheese, and what would happen if your life was dependent on your toaster. All conjecture, no sponsors, and even fewer points made. This is the TAFY podcast. This is the what if episode. We've got 4 what if questions, totally random, and mostly nonsensical, I think. But we'll see where we get to. And
you've been proved wrong before, so...
Oh, frequently, apparently. Although I'm completely oblivious and unaware of that fact, so... That's fine. Happy in my ignorant bliss over here. But,
my problem is I forget my opinion from one week to the next, so
I proved myself
don't like
wrong
things being
multiple
recorded, yeah. If anyone's paying attention, then we'll find out.
Well, an episode went up yesterday. There were 3 on, and there's 1 scheduled to go up tomorrow. You know, I've been on a big catch up.
I didn't realise we'd recorded that many.
There's 5. There's 1 more. There's a New Year's one to go out.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
That was
When that goes out, I'll listen to it, and then I can remember what I was going to do this year. Then I'll write it down in case we ever have a "Did you do your New Year's resolutions?" at the end of the year.
Think we'll still be talking to each other then?
I was thinking that today. I think once lockdown's over, this podcast will be put to one side if people have got better things to do.
I mean, still probably not.
I mean, I used to be very busy out all the time socialising, so yeah, maybe after lockdown, that'll be me at the discotheque.
That was the last time you were out when people used the word discotheque. Well, I know one of the things that's on your to-do list for this year is to discuss these. And the first question that we've got here is, what if water flows uphill? Now, don't all shout to agree at once. But what if water flows uphill?
Well, it's not an agreement or disagreement thing. This is a what if, isn't it?
See, you're
There is
arguing
no right.
already. You're
There is no
arguing
right or
already.
wrong.
Awesome. That's first in with the argument.
Yeah, the first thing you said, and you couldn't be wrong, but somehow you managed to make it away. You could be wrong.
And I thought I was playing it safe.
Oh, how wrong you were.
Not again!
Okay, so all the other laws of physics are the same. Everything behaves as it should.
Apart from
I was trying to get...
gravity on
I
water.
think so. Yeah, because the thing we talked about was it still falls from the sky. It still rains.
Yeah. Oh, so gravity still affects it, just not in certain conditions.
When it touches the ground or a surface, it flows uphill.
What happens
I
if
was
a raindrop
thinking
lands on
about-
another raindrop?
If the air was denser than the water, then the water should be above the air, and you'd have an atmosphere with water floating on it. But then we'd have no water available. That'd be really weird. Or maybe there'd be mountains, and from the tops of mountains there'd be sort of spires reaching up to this great ocean that circled the whole world. And would be
Big
would be
straws.
underwater. You could get a plane to the ocean where you could get on a boat, and you'd be in a boat on top of the ocean, which would be miles high up in the air. But I don't think
That
that's
would
the
be
way it's
cool.
going to go. That would be cool, but we're not going to talk about that.
Skyships.
We're not going to talk about the cool thing that I think of. We're going to talk about the thing that you want to talk about.
I'm going to get a button for that.
Just to play in all your meetings.
Yeah,
I'll just pre-record that. Yeah.
pre-record that.
So, like, the rain would just
Fall.
be on... Yeah, but then it'd hit your house and it'd just flow up to the top of your roof.
And then what?
It just lingers there. Because it can't
Just
float.
pulls at the roof until it evaporates.
But
Yeah.
it's still raining.
Yeah,
If
if
you
it's
say
still
if it-
raining, it just keeps building up, doesn't it?
So we're gonna have
Yeah.
to reinforce houses' roofs to cope with the extra weight.
Or your drain doesn't go down from the bottom; it goes up from the top.
But how would you do the?
I think that might be
Drain.
necessary anyway for when you flush the toilet and things. Well, let's not get to the toilet just yet.
Make sure you've got a good seal on the toilet seat.
Yeah, your
Tupperware
drain could
lids.
just be something like a ramp. Anything that points upward a bit from your roof. All the houses could join together to the center of the street, of just above roof height, in the center of the street, an aqueduct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but
all
what
the
about the
houses slope
rain that
into it,
lands
and
on
that
it?
slopes.
Like, what happens
Well,
to
that's
rain
fine.
that lands
That's
on the
like
aqueduct?
rain landing in the gutter.
What?
It runs away
but
with the
where-
rainwater.
Where does it go to? Like, where do
You
you
know how
drain
rain
to?
right now, it flows until it reaches a high point, like a lake. You just have a lake.
Above you.
Well, you
Well,
would,
yeah,
wouldn't you?
because
Like
water flows uphill.
the Lake
Keep up.
District would be
A
all
bit
these
odd.
dry valleys.
Would we rename valleys and like stuff? Because like is this a permanent thing? Like it's happened since the beginning of time?
Well, that's cool. That's a cool idea. No, it happens every 4 years.
Every 4
on
years it switches.
in April. The whole month
On
of
the
April.
1st of April, in the
Yeah.
morning, when you turn the newspaper on, it's happened.
When
Yeah.
you turn the newspaper
Turn
on.
the newspaper.
That was a good combination of old and modern. How do you get your news in the morning?
It's like tangent there. I saw a great advert for a newspaper, and it was when the iPads first came out, and it's like a kitchen scene in the people having breakfast, and there's like the guy with his suit and tie on reading his paper, obviously on the iPad, and there's kids around having cereal, and there's a fly buzzing round, and he's watching it, and it lands on the table, and he just smacks it with the iPad, and all the glass shatters. And the advert is get a newspaper, basically.
Nice.
So it's great. Yeah. Well, yeah. After you've turned your newspaper on the 1st of April, it happens every 4 years. This is when it happens.
So would we do anything to deal with it, or would we just accept it for the month?
If you lived
think
in the
we'd have to
Lake
deal with it.
District above like the tide line,
What if you lived
1st of April
anywhere?
comes all this
Oh,
water
crap.
suddenly. You get a tsunami come straight past your house to go uphill. Then in 4 weeks it
Oh,
comes
that's
back down again.
Yeah, but coastal areas will just get wiped out.
The sea. Yeah.
Everywhere.
When
Well,
the
yeah.
land and sea swaps places for a
Well,
month.
no, because you're saying it only goes up to a certain point. Like, it only goes uphill. Like, it doesn't flow downhill. So it'll just reach to the highest point.
Yeah. And then pull.
Yeah, a
And
local
then
maximum
stop.
it'll-
So would we have to build, like, coastal defences somehow?
That's kind of easy, isn't it?
You
Well,
just
I
put
mean,
a s-
they'd have to be strong, but they just have to be higher. That's how coastal defences work now. Strong and tall.
So your coastal defences have to be higher than the highest point
In the
inland.
country.
Yeah.
No, not higher than the highest point, because
No, because it stops when it reaches a high point, doesn't it?
yeah, it has
It
to
doesn't
be
flow over the other side.
high
I
enough
see.
and big enough that it can somehow
Hold it.
swallow the volume of water that's going to come at
The
it.
ocean.
Which in the case of the ocean,
Can it swallow the... We basically need just a lid. We need a lid on the country.
maybe for the sake of this impossible scenario being slightly possible, we should just have it permanently.
Okay, it's permanent then.
I think we can work with that.
We now live under the sea.
Yes,
Well,
but
under's
not-
very
But not underwater.
But not underwater.
it's very water flows down centric of you to say under the sea. It's really yeah. We do that, don't we?
Yeah. Oh, we got into a heavy debate, I think, on the end of the last one about what would drinking water be like. Because you couldn't put it in a glass.
You could put it in a glass. Is how do you get it out of the glass?
Are we assuming that we look like we look? Because right now you'd have to swallow and force it down with the muscles. But if you'd evolved in a place where water flows uphill, maybe your sphincters would be at the other end.
So I learned an interesting fact about three-toed sloths. That they have anchor
Oh, yeah.
points inside their body to hold their organs in the right place because they spend a lot of their time upside down.
Just in case
Yeah.
people think I've put a jump cut in there. No, that is a Ryan tangent. Just that. There's not 10 minutes of podcast missing. Unfortunately for you.
I do think it's a point that is relevant.
There might be an edit coming up.
Yeah, but like, would our bodies have evolved to cope with this uphillness of water?
I mean, aren't we?
But well,
We're
urination.
90% water or something, aren't we, or something? Because
Yeah, but it's all contained.
but what if it decided to flow uphill?
Well, there's all sorts of valves and sphincters involved, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, definitely there'd be like you have blood pooling in your legs, don't you? You get compression socks for that. Presumably, you'd have danger of blood pooling in your head. This is
Everybody's
reverse.
just got
Everyone's wearing a hat.
throbbing
lightheaded
veins
from-
on their forehead and red eyes.
You get lightheaded from sitting down instead of standing up, and
Yeah, when you lie down and all the blood runs to your nose.
Just a bulging nose on you.
you've got
Face.
nose throb. It happens to a lot of people as they get older. And the highest point on your body would. Yeah. Anyway.
Let's not go there.
It depends on how you sleep, doesn't it?
On my front.
Naked and aroused. Yeah.
Well, does blood count as water?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
It's thicker, but it's still water.
So I don't think drinking in itself provides that much of a challenge.
It's swallowing
You can
it.
imagine, and even that I don't think is so bad. I just remember trying to take a drink from a bottle upside down.
It didn't go so well, did it?
Didn't go so well. So I was lying on my front. We'd just done a fairly long day of walking in Scotland. It was called TAFY, so we were school age, and me, Ryan, and Quentin were sharing in a tent. And me and Ryan were fine, obviously, because Ryan's unstoppable. And I just held onto his coattails. But Quentin was really tired and a little bit grumpy.
And it's just like 9 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah. So we were being a bit silly and a bit giggling. We'd just seen Robin squatting over a bug. There's a lot of funny stuff going on. And he just told us off. So I was lying there dead serious. I just tried to take a drink, but I was lying on my front and I didn't want to roll over. So I took my bottle and I held it. I think it was like a 2-litre bottle.
Yeah, it was.
And I took it and I sort of turned it upside down in front of me, so it looks a bit like I've got my face to an optic or something. And then I tried to drink sort of through my bottom lip into my mouth, which more or less worked. But it was so funny that I spat it all back out again.
Yeah, which made me laugh, which woke Quentin back up again. He was not happy.
He still hates us.
I think we had a completely different work ethic to him.
I mean, we didn't have one.
Yeah.
One other Quentin story, but it's worth mentioning because it's related, and I'm still pleased with it so many years later. But we once handed in to answer the same question. We both handed in an essay. Mine was 3 pages, and it was 6 graphs, so there were only about 50 words. And his was about 20 pages of solid text, and we both got, I think, 19 out of 20 for it. And he was really, really upset about it.
That always used to bug me at school. It's like, you need to write more. I'm like,
Yeah.
why? Because you need to write more. Like, what's the point if I've got all the points across in this many words? Yes, but you need to write more.
Yeah.
People spent all that time training us to try and write more, and now I spend all my time trying to say the same thing with fewer words.
Yeah.
It's better. It's always better.
Yes. More efficient.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Less chance of me being wrong.
Yeah.
Is he throwing hints my way or something there? Talk less, be more right. There's the
Less
t-shirt.
wrong.
Less wrong. It's too negative.
Anyway, where were we?
So I don't think drinking is that big a challenge.
you just can't do it when anyone else is in the room.
Yeah, it's a very private matter to having a drink.
If like in a restaurant or like a Starbucks, do Starbucks then, because we're still fishing for sponsors. Like because of the nature of water flowing uphill, you'd have all of the tables and chairs like fixed to the ceiling.
Also, their machines would have to be inverted. You'd have to hold your cup on top of the.
We just turn
squirty
everything
thing.
upside down. But then water's fixed. But then everything else falls upwards.
Milk. How do you deal with the milk?
I was thinking like shoes and chairs, that kind of stuff.
I like milk in my tea. I need to know how this is going to work.
I think milk's close enough to water. I'm treating it like water.
Okay.
How do they get on in
When
like
it
the space
separates
station?
eventually, then maybe it's the opposite way around. So the heavy bits might be.
And what about solutions? So like making hot chocolate.
Yeah.
Does the water run away from the powder?
But as soon as you put a spoon
does it
in, you
carry
scold
it?
yourself because it'll run up the spoon and out your arm, straight to the top of your head.
Oh yeah. Oh, but that's okay because it's already upside down and you can stir it from the bottom.
Yeah, you'd have to have your mug upside down, stir it that way.
Now we're back to where Ryan disagrees. Doesn't believe the surface tension's enough to keep it in the cup.
Well, this is a very big question.
But it falls uphill.
It flows uphill, but what about the center of the cup? That's nowhere near the edges. Is the surface tension enough to hold the water inside?
This is very important because I've come up with an idea for a generator that relies on me being able to have water fall down when it gets to the center.
Ooh, nice.
I was thinking of having a big dome, perhaps, maybe a spike in the middle or something to kind of break the surface tension. Some salt or something, I don't know. So the water would flow up and then it'd drop down through, I don't know, one of those flinging, spinning things. What the hell are they called?
Turbines?
Fan?
Yeah. You know the turbines that
like a water
they
wheel?
use in hydro, and they sort of catch it down at the bottom and it flings it out. It's like it's got a name like a flinging wheel or something. Anyway, one of them.
Centrifugal.
I don't know. So I've got a generator in mind that works something like that, but I need to be able to have the water fall down in the middle. And I don't. And then it's going to run around and run back up again and fall down and run back up. And I've invented this kind of perpetual motion machine, and it's.
Then that'd be world changing then.
Yeah.
It'd be
free and unlimited energy.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Ooh.
Good for the environment then.
Things like quenching things is going to be interesting. Like you've heated up your metal, you need to quench it.
Yeah.
Usually you just dunk it in this bath of water or oil.
You could still do that. It would just be on the ceiling. That's all.
But what happens if it like
your metal thing would fall out again?
You hold it.
Yeah, it'd be a lot more labour intensive, wouldn't it?
That's okay. We've got unlimited energy.
Yeah.
No, but not for me.
You can make one of your own. I'll give you the designs for free. Anyone can make their own.
Yes, but it doesn't power me.
I don't know how you've not built an Iron Man suit now you've got unlimited energy. Clearly that's the way for it.
Powered by one drop of water.
It never runs out, but it's really, really weak.
Wow. A lot to think about there. I'm just conscious we've reached like the 20-minute ish mark. So
Yeah, we did get a little distracted though somewhere in the middle.
yeah. Did we? I can never tell.
Have you seen that video of Attenborough saying "boo" to a sloth?
No.
Yeah.
Again
really
with the
funny.
jump cuts.
Excuse me a
Only
minute.
to a sloth.
To what end?
I don't know. It's just hilarious.
Does that mean now I'm going to have to find that video and put a link in the description for this podcast for people to track it down?
How it's not a GIF, I don't know. We'll make a GIF. Everyone can use it. That's the perfect reaction when someone surprises you in a meeting.
All right, I'm gonna move on to the next what if.
I've just watched the video.
It's turned into Gogglebox. You get to listen to us laugh at videos.
That's great.
I'm not even watching. I'm just remembering watching. Some kind of perception box.
The next what if then is what if the magnetic poles reversed? This is for the
Well, they are going to. They're going to. Yeah.
This part
Well, it's gonna ruin DV, isn't it? Like someone's gonna be stood on a mountain going, right, we're gonna go south. Which way are we going?
You just have to repaint the red end of your compass, don't you?
Yeah, but if it happens while you're kind of sleeping or something like that, and you wake up in the morning, then you end up going the wrong way.
As if it snuck up on you.
Yeah.
I still have to check the sun to remember which end is the north end anyway. So
Never go to the southern hemisphere.
I'd be totally screwed. I've never been, and I'd like to go. I feel like it'd be a really weird experience to look up at the night sky in the southern hemisphere and it not be the one that I sort of, not that I know the constellations well, but it's sort of familiar. I
Yeah.
feel like that'd be a weird experience. It's
And
my
like-
main reason to want to go.
And like the majority of countries and everything in the northern hemisphere, but there's only a few in the southern hemisphere.
There is a lot of water.
Mm. The thing I remember at the northern southern hemisphere is like the weather stuff, where you get like a low pressure moving, and in the northern hemisphere it rotates anti-clockwise above.
Yes.
But in the southern hemisphere it goes the other way.
Is that the Coriolis?
It's the Coriolis effect, yeah.
God.
And but so they call, but in the north, but they call a low pressure system a cyclone, even though it goes anti-clockwise, and a high pressure is an anticyclone, which goes clockwise. Because
Are there any
were
uncle
named...
cyclones?
Sorry?
Are there any uncle cyclones?
Uncle cyclone. But they call it, so it's confusing for everybody in the northern hemisphere, but it was because I think it was named or discovered in like Brazil or something. It was named in like the southern hemisphere. Like, oh, it's because
Nice.
anti-clockwise, we'll call it an anticyclone. Oh, makes sense for you. Yeah.
So the southern hemisphere is actually a lot further down than I think.
Is that because you're so northern?
Yeah. I mean, Sheffield's fairly south for me.
I'm not sure where it cuts off through sort of South America, Africa. I'm not sure. Which
So
bits are in-
Africa, it's below the bulgy bit on the left.
Yeah.
South America, it's about a fifth of the way down, I would reckon.
Okay.
It kind of cuts through like Indonesia, Philippines sort of area by the looks of things.
What do we use magnetic North Pole for
Compasses?
these days? Yeah, but I mean, is it ever for anything hypercritical?
I did think it'd be a good idea to look that up. I'm pretty sure that everything will also have a magnetic compass. Like I bet ships still have a magnetic compass as well as and planes and everything else. I feel like loads of stuff would be really disturbed if it suddenly swapped. Like there'd be some disruption.
So we're just talking about the Earth poles flipping. It's not magnetism in general. This isn't like water flowing uphill.
I was flipping the magnetic poles. So I mean, you're north of your compass points to the South Pole now.
Okay. Because if all magnetism flipped, then like all these
Oh.
Teslas on the roads would be going backwards, and
All motors would. Yeah, would motors reverse, or would it be fine?
now your power station would suddenly start whirring as it draws in all the power from everybody, and yeah, you'd have to push your Tesla, and every time you push it forward, the lights glow.
I can just picture a really sad image of a smartly dressed, probably some smartly dressed guy in the driver's seat, and his wife pushing the Tesla.
Why?
That's the image that comes to mind. It's just got a little push and the lights flash. It's like, you just have to push harder. You have to push harder and then it'll start.
So apart from lots of DAV
electronics that have like magnetic switches in and stuff like that, or magnetic sensors, would they stop working?
A lot of stuff would be, it's confusing, isn't it? Because I mean, if you swap the magnetic field, then the direction of motion's opposite, isn't it? When it's like a
Yes.
motor or
So
an
when it's off, it'd
induction
be on.
thing,
When
so,
it's on, it'll be off.
like, yeah, it could be just everything be knackered.
But if it's just the
That's
Earth's
technical.
poles,
Yeah.
then
Just the Earth's poles, something
Then it-
sane,
yeah,
and that's going to happen, isn't it?
yeah, it's done it already. Well, there's evidence to suggest
We're
that it just
overdue.
happens.
It's every 50,000
I don't think.
years.
I don't know if it is or
100,000
not.
years.
But it has happened in the
I
past.
vaguely remember at school being told it was overdue, but it's really overdue now.
Sure, that wasn't just your homework.
Maybe.
But I mean, on the scale of things, percentage-wise, we might not be that far off. Because if it's like every 50,000 years,
Yeah.
and you know, we're maybe now 0.1% more overdue.
Yeah.
You're trying to say the length of a human life is insignificant, then yes. Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Oh, that's cheerful.
Yeah, there you go. Try to think if there'll be something apart from like all the DAV students ending up in London or that kind of stuff. Then I'm trying to think if there's some structural problem that's going to arise, because isn't there something from like power lines like going through the magnetic field? I can't remember what it was now. I think I just made that up.
Maybe think about birds, though. If birds are following magnetic field lines, are they going to be commuting the wrong way?
Ooh, yeah.
Or is it okay because they're still following a line, they're just following it in the opposite direction?
We need to have watched the core.
Yeah.
That's what we should have done for research for this one. The core. Who's seen that one?
I have, not for a long time, but I have seen it.
Yeah, me too.
I'm going to admit I've seen it multiple times. Those times when you just want something on and you can't be bothered to filter through all of the stuff to find what you want. You're like, oh, I've seen this. Yeah. Don't need to concentrate too hard on it. Just stick it on. The car with, what's his name? Eckhart, is it?
I can't remember.
Yeah. That's right.
Harvey
He's Two-Face, isn't
he? Yeah. Because they have like birds. So a scene in London, like the terror we have in London is all the pigeons go nuts and run into statues and windows of buses and shops and that kind of thing.
Well, it was me thinking I'd thought of something and I just remembered something.
That happens frequently to me because I forget so much.
I'm going to assume I thought of it on my own and I'm really clever.
And then, like, you just know in the future you actually make that time machine, and all this is. I was the one.
I wrote the screenplay for the core. In time.
That was what you did with the ultimate
Yeah.
power of time travel.
Yeah.
Wrote the core.
I didn't remember it quite as well as I thought, so it didn't do as well, which is interesting because then I didn't watch it when I was growing up later in the past future, future past, whichever.
The future past.
I think the future past, yeah. Yeah, so future past, future me didn't go on to go back in time and write the screenplay for the core because he'd never seen it.
Well, there we are. We found a story slightly less riveting than the core itself.
It
But only
depends
slightly.
if you're listening to this in the present or the future present.
the making of the core. Moving on, I think, unless there's anything else to go with.
Well, I'm sure there is.
What if the magnetic pole's reversed? Because like it's we found out it's way off, isn't it? At the moment, it's not like the geographic North Pole. It's way over Canada or something like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Has that changed in our lifetime? I mean, it's changing, isn't it, all the time? But
Yeah.
Has it,
So,
has it changed meaningfully? We used to have to adjust our compasses by 2 degrees or 4 degrees or something when we were in Nidderdale. Presumably, it depends
Which
where
one
you
is
are,
that?
how much
Is
you
that
need to adjust it.
called variation? Is that what that one's called?
Not sure.
Oh, I should know. There's like two. There's like variation and
Declination?
deviation.
Declination.
No, but there's like deviation because of like airframes and stuff. It moves the compass because you're in a metal
Yes.
thing. So there's deviation and there's variation based on difference between magnetic and geographic north. I get the feeling there's another one.
Deviation is the near something magnetic or metallic.
Yeah.
Declination is adjusting it for where it actually is.
Okay. What's the current error? Do we know?
I'm trying to find out.
Does that depend on where you are as well?
What?
That depend on where you are, how much you should adjust it, not just where it is, but where you are.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you're on the line...
in London, the declination is 0. It was 1 degree in 2014. It's now 0.
Is it because it's over the other side of the Earth, though? It's past geographic north.
Straight through the North Pole, must be.
Yeah.
Oh, it's either this side of the North Pole or straight through the North Pole, but based on what we said last time, it'd be straight through it, right?
I'm just looking at the map behind Matt's head at the moment. And if it's over Canada somewhere... Because on the projected map, it looks like it's 40-odd degrees. 45 degrees.
Yeah.
So that's a flat map.
Yeah. Doesn't work. But we use flat maps.
We do use flat maps.
I've got a globe, but it's a decanter globe, so there's a chance that it can't be relied on to be wholly accurate.
Does it change?
So actually,
55 kilometers per year it moves.
Can you? Oh, I forgot which camera you're in. Can you see us? We're there, and Canada's there. So I think it is more or less straight through.
Past the stopper.
Past the stopper, yeah.
Does it change more with how much you drink?
Yep.
Yeah.
More and more deviation as you drink more and more.
I don't think this decanter accurately represents the tilt of the Earth. Well, it's a good job they didn't use decanters at school to teach us geography. We were quite at school, so that wasn't allowed.
There's another topic for another day. I think it's going to go in the roundabouts and what was the other toasters.
These are very interesting topics. I'm sure our listeners will agree.
Well, I've just edited the podcast the way we were arguing about the second exit of roundabouts. So and that made the cut. That's still in there. So,
Obviously, it is important information that people need to
well,
know.
if people want to know, then they should go and find that one. It's in one of the
You
previous
need to explain
episodes.
things very carefully to Jack.
With pictures.
But not while he's driving.
No. Although the toasters topic, we're going to get onto the toasters topic. We're just one more topic away from getting to toasters. And the next one is, what if the internet was turned off for 24 hours?
Is this a planned thing, like for maintenance, or is this a oh crap, someone's just cut the internet?
Crap.
Yeah, some rather clever little 12-year-old
Was bored.
with a mobile phone and an Arduino has found out how to turn the internet off, and they've just thought, ha, that's a laugh, and they've done it.
Oh, that's spectacular. This 12-year-old has a button that turns it on and off. And maybe they don't even know what it does, so it's like the Friends episode where the light switch that they're just flicking it on and off and they don't know what it does. Yeah. Oh, that's spectacular. So this kid's turned it off.
Yeah.
And it's off for 24 hours.
I
I was looking at... Go on.
I think it's a new dark age. I think that's what you end up with.
I mean, personally, I'd probably be quite alright with it.
I don't think
It's
I'd
the not
notice.
knowing, isn't it? If it was a day and you knew it was a day, that's totally fine. But if it was a day and there was no explanation, and I mean, a lot of people couldn't even get the news, could they? I mean,
No.
I listen to the radio, so I just listen to the radio. But people don't have radios or TVs that are actually connected to a TV aerial. Everything's streamed through the internet. If you didn't have that, it might be kind of hard to find out what was going on. It wouldn't even be in today's newspapers because it's not planned.
Mm.
Would local networks be unaffected?
Yeah, I mean, I think so.
Well, I'm asking Quizmaster.
But you mean like within your house,
Like
the
a LAN? Yeah.
I would say so. Yeah, it's the internet. It's the
Well, I imagine there would be a number of people around the world who would suddenly start creating their own internet. Like there would be some people that would like, right, we need to get connected to this place. They would figure out a way.
peer to peer.
It's definitely possible if it was a long time. Yeah, the problem at the minute is where the cables go, isn't it? You need I mean, with time, you could just remake the internet or any version of it you like.
I just don't think that humanity would last that long. They wouldn't last 24 hours. Like
It would be very interesting to see the reaction of governments around the world. Although we
Well-
wouldn't be able to see them because we can't get the news.
Well, you see, where was it? Was it like New York or something? There was like a power cut, and they were already in the streets and things, wasn't it? Fuck. There was a big city. I think it was in America, and they had a power cut, and it just went nuts pretty quickly. That's fairly similar. You know, you still get it on your phone, I suppose, but
Well, I mean,
Well, it
what would you do?
depends.
I guess, assuming it's a work day, I think I have a number for some people. I don't have any numbers on my phone, but I could turn my computer on, and I think I have some that I could access without having to connect to a network. So I could probably find someone's phone number and phone them and say, I'm not coming into work today because I guess at this point I don't know that the internet's down for everybody. Or maybe I'd just get on my bike and cycle into the office because I can't connect from home.
yeah.
And weird's going on. So maybe I'd cycle into the office and that'd be how I'd find out, perhaps. I mean, presumably when at the time I get in the morning, no one would really know yet what was going on. The guy on the desk could be, I mean, I could go and I could connect to my, oh, this is devastating because I've gone into the office and now I can do my work at my, and a lot of the stuff's just on the internal network, so I could just do a day's work. Oh, this is horrendous. I started saying before, I looked at Katie, who's furloughed again. Oh, my God, I hate all of you, everyone who's furloughed. It'd be so nice to be furloughed. I really enjoyed my 2 weeks off at Christmas. I'm struggling to get back into the swing of things working. I could really easily be furloughed.
I think there'd be a danger going on the roads because, like, wouldn't all of the traffic lights and everything be internet?
I know they are. Some of them are controllable. I think a lot of them do just rely on a timer system locally.
And you've got
I
like
found
the CCTV camera system and everything like that. There are a lot of internet-based things, so people will know, everything's down, so like crime goes up. Like the police, all their network of like ANPR cameras and all the information that they get, that comes internet, doesn't it?
the last power cut we had. I thought the people driving on the roads, it was better than normal. People were really well behaved. They actually were sort of sensible, especially where traffic lights were out. I thought people did a really good job last time. I can only remember one power cut in New York where I was actually driving around anywhere, but people were just really sensible.
Yeah, like I do think that traffic lights make life difficult a lot of the times.
As a sort of general thing, traffic lights and anything that it's really prescriptive. It stops people thinking at all. You just follow the rule, and then
Yeah,
it takes away people's ability to think. I don't
it's
have
like
anything
roundabouts.
to justify that.
No.
Yeah, roundabouts are brilliant, aren't they?
Yeah,
They empower people to use their brains and to.
there's a system.
Spatial
It
reasoning
works.
problem, and
If you obey the system, it works. It's great.
If you obey the system, there's a bit of a tradition around here near me for people not obeying the system. I mean, they're misguided in their attempts to be polite. Like, they're on the roundabout, and I'm doing the bit of, right, okay, you're coming from the right, I will wait. But no, they stop. They stop on the roundabout and wave me out. I was like, what? No. And then, of course, everyone else is...
It's not how any of this works.
It's like, why? Why do you decide to do that? I mean, I know, I'll stop on the roundabout and let people out. Like,
but then there are people that run through red lights, so...
Yeah. But it's like being on a green light and stopping on the junction and then waving other people across that's on red.
I've seen that happen.
No, you go. Your need is greater. Crash. Bang. And the big one, there's like a huge roundabout near me, and it's like the crossroads of dual carriageway and a motorway, and it's quite far around, and I think there's five or six exits on it.
Which one's the second one?
Just the second one. You count one and then you get off the next one.
You tell me which one the first one is, and I'll tell you which one the second one.
And so you'll get people that try and go around on the outside for fear of getting stuck on the roundabout. Oh my goodness, it just causes so many accidents. Like, they cut across the front of you, so you're on the inside and you've expected them to go off on the previous junction because yours is coming up, and now they keep on going, and then they go across in front of you, across to the next one. It's like, my goodness, that's ridiculous. So I'll agree, roundabouts are good. They cost nothing to run, and it's automatic and it works. But my goodness, some people don't work.
I wonder if there's a large foreign population near you. But I think in some places the rule is you give way if you're on the roundabout. I think maybe that's true on
Is this in the same world where...
I'm thinking of the Arc de Triomphe, and I'm sure the rule seems to be, it's total chaos, but the rule seems to be that you give way if you're on the roundabout.
This must be in the same world where water flows uphill, I think. This is... Give way for her.
I haven't read the travel code of any other country than ours. And to say I've read ours is almost entirely untrue.
One that I did see, we were on the little island of Jersey. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah.
We ended up there at one point. And they've got these filter boxes. So if you imagine like a T-junction, and you're coming up the stem of the T, the crossbar, right? And in the way they cross, there's this yellow hatch across the across the thing, and it's a filter. The big sign, it says filter, and it's take it in turns basically. So you'll come up, and the ones going across on the main road will stop to let one out, and then the next one stops to let one go across, and it's like one across, one up, one across, one up. My goodness, it's similar to a roundabout.
It's like American, like crossroads. It's whoever's there first that has priority.
Yeah.
Put your foot down.
Well, there usually is a stop sign, so you have to stop at them. But like if you come to a stop first, then you have priority for setting off.
Oh, it's just the other foot.
I will admit their ability to turn right on a red light is genius.
Yeah, I do like that system, and I think it should be enabled for bicycles, especially in the UK. But obviously,
Yeah.
left here, because it's especially if you've got yeah. Especially if you like, there's a cycle lane on the road you're turning onto, and you're on a cycle lane. Like, it just makes sense to enable us to just turn left.
It's a bit unnerving for the drivers, though.
Yeah, are they turning left or are they going straight for straight
The
on?
cycle just carries on. Wow. That's the result of the internet going down for 24 hours? We'd be alright.
Improve cycle lanes.
Improve cycle lanes. Or roundabouts. That's the solution.
I don't know. I mean, 24 hours isn't quite enough for civil war to break out. I do think there'd be I think there'd be some chaos. But
Well, yeah, like I say, it'd be interesting to see what the governments of the world do, as suddenly they have no connection to anything. Like, they don't know what other people
Yeah.
are doing. Like, I assume the military has some sort of connection ability that doesn't rely on the internet. But
Yeah,
I
you've
mean, I
seen
assume that
the
they
end
still
of
have lots of radio and
you've seen the end
satellites
of
and stuff.
Independence Day. You know, they all get on the old tap tap tapper.
Yeah, yes, the tap tap tapper is the way forward. But like, do governments have that? Like, are there fiber lines directly between government buildings that will work without the internet? I don't know.
based on our government's ability to run
Well,
any
it was,
IT
yeah.
project, I'm guessing no. There might be pieces of string between them.
You're lucky if it's wet string.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not for talking down. It's for like pegging little notes on and then winching them across the gap.
Yes.
Carrier pigeons again.
Yeah, but then you got to take your pigeon to where you want it to go.
What to train it?
Yeah.
Like, you'll be coming here in a couple of days' time.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
You might as well
to
just
get
take the
kids
note with you.
I don't know. I could see anarchy breaking out pretty quickly with that kind of thing. I can't remember who said it, but there's like a quote where civilization is only 3 hot meals away from anarchy, or something like that.
Mm.
Or an army. I think it's an army. I think that was the quote. Army's only 3 hot. You miss 3 hot meals in the army, then you end up with revolt. I think it'll be similar with the internet, so everyone goes nuts.
But can you imagine when it comes back on? Like, it would grind to a halt with everyone just trying to do everything at the same time. All those things that
scroll
have
for
been
a day
waiting
and a half to catch up with all the notifications.
Exactly.
I don't know how I'd tell the difference.
I could quite conceivably go 24 hours without realising that the internet had disappeared. I mean, depending on the day.
I could easily get used to it, but I would definitely notice within 24 hours.
Yeah.
I just think so many of the systems that we like rely on, like supermarkets restocking their stuff and their stock levels and things, that'll all be done over the internet, so they won't be able to do it. I mean, yeah, if it's only for 24 hours, then it wouldn't.
Yeah, maybe we should make it longer. If it was for 3 weeks.
3 weeks, yeah. Well, people panic buy. So
yeah.
Yeah. What do you buy if the internet's down?
toilet paper.
Every single board game, or yeah,
Toilet
all
roll.
the toilet paper, of course.
Pasta.
A
Pasta and
little
toilet paper.
pasta. Board games and a box set of Friends. I think that's what you buy if the internet goes down.
It's just like it must
The
have that
last box
similar
set
feeling.
available.
You know, like Noah with his ark, right? And everyone was all like, "Oh, what are you doing that for? It'll be fine." And he's just so smug when it actually comes true. And you're like the last person on the street with a DVD player. Like, yes. These box sets come into my house too.
I will be sitting pretty there with my Blu-ray collection.
Yeah. I find the panic buy thing fascinating. All the lockdown announcements and
doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Well, I think it kind of does.
No.
I'm going to disagree with you for a change.
There's a surprise.
I'm not going to. I think it's one of those game theory things. Because I think you can be a person on the individually can be rational about it. But when it becomes a mob, so I can think, right, I don't need to overbuy. I don't need to panic buy lots of stuff and but I know other people will. So there's going to be a shortage because other people can't be trusted to act rationally. So just to be safe, I'll buy an extra pack of toilet roll.
Like, how much toilet roll do people use?
I don't know. And then I think everybody just might buy a little bit more just because they know there's stuff going to be a bit scarce because people panic buy. And I think it just runs away because you can't trust the other person to act the way you know you should, so you don't. So then nobody does. I find that fascinating. I think it's almost it's guaranteed, no matter how.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. When people are going being totally stupid and buying like hundreds of rolls, that's going too far. But there's definitely something rational about buying one more. I'll buy a 6-pack instead of a 4-pack.
Flour just disappeared off the shelves for like a month.
Yeah.
I wonder if it got used.
Well, that's the thing. Like, when did everybody become Mary Berry? Like, even if everybody's buying an extra bag of flour, like, how many people buy flour regularly?
But imagine if not many people do, say. But now that you're locked down and your kids are at home, I mean, a good thing to do with your kids is to bake buns or something. I can see how without being stupid, the demand for flour could increase quite quickly in a short period. I mean, then at some point, there should generally be a stock of flour in people's kitchens. But if a lot of people who don't generally stock flour decide, oh well, now the kids are at home, I'm going to bake because I can do that, and then they can eat it, and they'll be quiet for half a day. 10 minutes, somewhere between those two. Yeah, then whatever those kids do, then
don't get me started. Do not get me started.
Oh no, let's get him started.
I have had both of them all day. You can find.
Well, I've discovered.
Yeah.
And when the only flour you could buy was a 16-kilogram bag, then I can get through 16 kilograms of flour. It took I don't know, about 9 months to use 16 kilograms of flour. We make a reasonable amount of bread and pizza and cookies and things, but we don't bake loads. But it's not. It was easily within its use by date. It's not a bad size for us to buy.
You can freeze it.
Can you?
Can you?
Yep. We've got bags in the freezer, like backup bag.
Does it freeze or does it just get cold?
It just gets really cold.
I'd put cheese in the freezer, like a block of cheese, just to see what would happen.
Did the other people in your house, start asking, "Where's the cheese, Ryan?"
No, I did it when they were away. I didn't want to be labelled a lunatic.
I freeze cheese. Cheese freeze is fine.
Like a block of cheese?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Why do you freeze blocks of cheese?
Well, Katie doesn't like cheese, so it's only me. And I tend to buy the biggest block of the extra maturest cheddar I can find.
And you
But
can't eat it
then
quick enough.
I can't eat it quick enough. Yeah,
Oh, you're not
so I go
trying.
through spells. Yeah, well, I easily could because I could probably sit here and eat a block. But if I chop it in half and freeze half of it, then I find I don't sit here and eat the entire block, just half a block.
It's something that I'd never tried to do, so I thought, I wonder what happens if you put cheese in the freezer. Like, I've done grated cheese in the freezer, but I'd never put like a block of cheese in the freezer.
You can freeze milk, but
Yeah,
it doesn't taste quite the same when it comes
no,
back.
no.
Freeze bread. I have freezer bread.
Yeah.
Rubbish for sandwiches, but
I do it and just have it for toast. Quite often we get to the point where we've eaten half a loaf and we can't really eat a loaf before its date, and sometimes
Well,
they
you
seem
need
to last
cheese
ages.
sandwiches.
But
That's what you need. Cheese sandwiches
yeah,
every
cheese
day.
sandwiches. I've got a big jar of pickle. I can have cheese and pickle sandwiches. He's so happy with the cheese and pickle sandwich right now. All this talk's made me really hungry.
again, if Branston are listening to this podcast, then
Yeah. I prefer the fine chunks. Just saying.
controversial.
Not controversial.
If it's there, I'll take it, but I prefer the big
Prefer
chunk.
the big chunk.
Yeah.
You think you know someone, eh, Matt?
Yeah, I think you know, guy.
Well, sometimes just to be a rebel, if I've got like the little chunks, I'll just kind of mix up my own batch by just pouring pickled onions into it.
You just
Pouring pickled onions.
Mega chunky.
we stick the little bits back together to make big chunks.
It's past beyond big chunks. It's just clumpy pickle.
Num 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 num.
Well, we've approached the hour mark, and we've only got one topic left. Having deviated slightly from what if the internet was turned off for 24 hours.
I don't think we did. I think we stayed fairly on topic, actually.
Well, having ended up at pickle sandwiches, I don't know how.
Well, that's what happens when the internet goes down for 24 hours. Pickle sandwiches.
Just sat there in my dressing gown eating a cheese and pickle sandwich.
At work.
Yeah, at work.
I don't know where today went wrong, honestly.
People walk in like, "You all right, mate?" Like, internet's down.
They don't understand.
Yeah. So the last what if, that I've got on the list that we've agreed to discuss.
I don't remember signing anything.
Well, you were pretty drunk. As what if?
That sounds about right.
I've got what if tech/appliances lasted for life.
My first thought is, would technology stagnate if you buy one thing and it just lasts forever? Like, would the pace of technology slow down?
I think it might. But also, I'm gonna, I have a. Would you believe something winds me up a little bit?
No, no, Matt, really? What?
What?
This is about mobile phones. Okay.
Okay.
So my very first smartphone had maybe 256 meg of RAM, something like that. The display was all right. It was plenty big enough. I mean, it was a reasonable size to hold in your hand, not like most of them. And the processor was fine. I can't remember what it was, but what stops working is the software, not the hardware. That hardware I could still run. Maybe not anymore. Ubuntu would be a bit heavy on it, but I could run like a light version of Linux on it still. But phone software, they just screw you. It's the software, not the hardware, that's died on phones for a long time. So I mean, maybe lasting a lifetime is a bit of a stretch for a phone, but it could last a lot longer on the same hardware. But I guess what I was really thinking about with this was stuff like, I don't know, everything you buy for your house, you end up buying multiple of that.
All right, don't tell me that now.
Yeah, this is a terrible time. You know that washing machine you got? That's one of many.
You'd almost be better taking out like a white goods subscription service with some,
Maybe that's
get a
how this
lease.
could work. Yeah. When I say last a lifetime, they do last a lifetime. You buy a lifetime's. You
Subscription.
buy this washing machine for life, and if it breaks, they just swap it. But no, I was really hoping that things would just be made to last and made to be repaired and to be updated.
Well, maybe there's a few people that are going back that way, aren't there? There's one of the things that comes to mind to me is like typewriters and things. There's like a big culture of people that got back into mechanical typewriters.
You say big culture.
There's a very vocal culture. That are,
As is the way
They
these
have
days.
to shout.
Yeah.
Yeah,
To make
Otherwise
yourself
you
heard
wouldn't
over
hear
the noise.
them.
over the clack, clack, clack.
Clack, clack, clack.
But no, like,
The internet goes down. They'll be the people you want.
but like, oh no, it's gone. What was it? Oh no, the thing is, like, there's these machines from like the 50s or 30s even, and they still work. It's like they're robust and big and mechanical, and they still kind of work, and it's almost surprising these days that this thing still works from back then, because everything that you have now is just so short shelf life. And you think like the phone companies, if they're really onto this environmentally responsible kind of stuff, if your phone, instead of lasting maybe 3 years at a stretch, if you could stretch it to 5, 4 even, 25% more, that's quite a few phones you don't need to put out there.
If you could replace the battery, then
Yeah.
on average people would probably keep their phones 6 months longer. If they could update the software. I mean, if you bought a Linux phone, there aren't very many about, but by and large, you would expect the software to improve over time, not get worse. The exact opposite of anyone else. You wouldn't just find all of a sudden that you can't use WhatsApp because I don't know. I can't use WhatsApp anymore on my phone. I believe it's because the version of Java doesn't have the right kind of encryption. It is my guess, but it's really stupid stuff like you could just easily install another JVM and it'd be totally fine to do. But it's a real pain for an individual to do. It'd be very easy for a company to do.
Wasn't this whole like planned obsolescence thing?
Yeah, I mean, why would they not make things last a couple of years rather than 10 years? Because it makes them money. They can sell you this new phone.
Because their phone costs 1,500 quid. That's
Yes,
why.
and people still buy it.
You know who
it's
you
strange
are.
because people buy things on a contract, so they have a monthly bill for the phone and the data and everything. So you end up with like a 30, 40, 50 quid bill a month for life for this thing. And it's just totally crazy. There'll be people who grow up and have never not had 50 quid a month come out for the phone and just think that's perfectly normal.
Well, by definition of normal, I think it is. It's normal.
Damn.
He might have a point there.
We're the abnormal ones. I mean, my phone has a replaceable battery. The back comes off of my.
Can you get different covers for it?
No. Well, I could get a different, back thing for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is when phone falls apart.
I mean, this phone, I could probably just spray paint this phone and it would be fine.
Yeah.
Whatever colour I want. What is it? Nokia 33 something. I don't know.
3310 is the classic.
3310. But like the 2017 model, this one. So even when it was new, it's 3 years old. Yeah. I don't know. When the companies say like they're going to be environmentally friendly and responsible, so they're not going to bundle a charger or headphones with it because that's just extra rubbish that people already have. I can kind of see that point, but your phone is pretty much the same as the one that you released about 6 months ago. they've already got that, so why not just omit that from the box? They probably would, but still charge you the same.
Yep.
Yeah. Pay us another $1,000 and we'll not slow down your old phone.
Yeah. There's a business model.
I mean, it literally is.
It's like the old gangster movies, like the protection racket.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
modern day protection.
It's unbelievable that, I mean, the amount of stuff that goes into a phone, the amount of, I don't know, at one point it was definitely slave labor. Now I think it might not be true that it's slave labor, it's just really, really horrible conditions.
Yeah.
And the raw materials and the people working to gather the raw materials and the damage it all does. And we just replace them and throw them away so quickly. I think it's a stretch to ask a phone to last a lifetime because, like you say, I mean, well, I don't necessarily want to slow down the pace of innovation for one thing, and also, I mean, while there's innovation going on, they are dating, they are aging. If you think about the speed that things work, I mean, the speed of browsing the internet on a phone, well, actually, a great chunk of that is because most of the crap that you have to download and render isn't relevant to the content, so that there's definitely some other savings to be made, but this needs a benign dictator, which I'm volunteering to be. At least I'll be half of that.
Can you volunteer to be a benign dictator? Don't you have to kind of step in there and just take it, kind of thing? You have to hold a rally without inciting people. That's
topical.
Topical. Not that I'm saying he incited anybody or anything like that. We'll wait for the judgment to come now.
The good. I don't think there's time left to impeach him, but supposing they did, that'd definitely rule him out. I don't know if it actually legally rules him out for running again in 2024, but it feels like it must, right? I'm slightly fearful that it possibly had come back.
I don't think he'll see it the same way.
I think he might be dead.
Ooh.
I didn't think he'd
last something that's going to have to be cut from the podcast.
Well, he's getting on a bit, and he's not exactly in great condition.
Oh, is he? Oh, right.
I'm not expecting him to be assassinated.
Okay.
But he has enemies. You can say that. That's not inciting. Nothing wrong with that, right?
It's just the way you said it. It sounded like a threat. That's all. It's like, ooh,
we're gonna have to have a podcast on exploring the limits of what I'm allowed to say before it gets edited out.
I don't want to have to censor. It kind of goes against what I believe, but yeah.
Would it be in... No, let's save that for another day.
Okay. Although
would it be inciting violence if I said?
I just we talked about, I can't remember which episode it was now, and there's only 3 out there. Because we're so random that we cover so many topics. Oh no, it's gone. Oh, it slipped away. Talk amongst yourselves.
So roundabouts.
No.
Well, do you want to get onto toasters then? Seeing as though we're in the will appliances, should appliances last for life?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, you want me to start it off?
I'll start it off.
Okay.
Yes.
See, now I think a toaster is the sort of thing that should last forever.
Right. If Ryan can stay away from his bizarrely shaped bread that must fit in his awkwardly shaped toaster on this particular topic, then
What if the shape of bread changes over time through some kind of cultural evolution of it? Now we only have Christmas tree shaped bread.
Because water only flows uphill. It changes the
Yeah.
design of the loaf tin completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if tech lasts forever, then we'll still be using the same loaf tins.
Yeah, you just have to turn the oven upside down.
Once it cooks, it ceases to be like wet, so it would just drop straight out of the.
Perfect, you know when it's done.
Yeah, that's a dry one.
It's funny that, because you know how if you make a thing, sometimes the fruit sinks to the bottom.
Yeah.
That happens right now, and that'd still be true when water flows the other way.
Ooh.
That feels kind of weird to me that we've just kind of inverted something and got the same result.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Exactly.
You think you can't make like a fruit trifle?
I can't, no.
Fruit jelly? You can't make a fruit
Well,
trifle?
you could, but the jelly would still be on the top, and it would have been on the top before.
Yeah.
It's impossible to get jelly on the bottom.
Yeah, would the jelly be up above the surface of above the bottom of the bowl? Because there's the fruit there, and it wouldn't wick its way down into it, would it? It'd want to be raised up on top of the fruit.
Well, there we go.
Yeah, but you can't put it in your toaster. So
Challenge accepted.
Not if you want your toaster to last for life.
I'm going to bring up the topic. Like, is this lasting for life thing? Is it linked to your lifespan?
Yes.
So the day you know, hop off.
I mean, it makes inheritance a lot easier.
all your stuff breaks, making it more of a tragedy to your family.
Yeah.
I was
Lost
gonna have his
everything.
TV.
I think I saw it on a film, but I don't know if it's based in reality. That someone on a battlefield, like they got shot and they smashed their watch, but I think they did it deliberately so it stopped as they died.
Right.
I don't remember quite why. Maybe it was probably like a Sherlock Holmes or something, and it was deliberate so the time was saved. But imagine if that was a thing you did when you died. Your last death throes were to run around the house, trashing everything that you own.
He's there with an axe.
We can tell his time of death from the time he deleted his browsing history.
What if you died when your last appliance died?
Oh man, that's fatalistic, there, isn't it?
Repair
You're there
shops could charge a
treating-
fortune.
Yeah, you're treating this toaster like a god. Nothing but milk roll for me. Lightly done, please.
Oh, you'd clean out the crumb tray after every toasting.
Yeah. Surge protection for my toaster, please.
Ooh, that'd be tricky.
I mean,
Although there's no surges on a coaster. It's very gradual.
depends if you're
Yeah.
putting a knife in it or not to get the piece spread out.
Not if it's your own toaster. No.
Pretty
How
big.
did he die? He was stabbed in the toaster.
Oh well, there's the thing. Like, could you sabotage someone's appliance to kill them?
Yeah.
Well, who cops it if somebody kind of ransacks Curry's?
The staff.
The staff. It's not
Dangerous,
them.
high risk job working in Curry's, especially during a sale.
It's like the
Black
CEO.
Friday.
It's like the CEO of the company.
Well,
Oh,
no, you
then they
wouldn't.
deserve their wage.
Well, danger money.
But only if every appliance goes. So
Well, the other
when
thing-
they go bankrupt and get bought by another store, maybe the CEO gets,
I think everyone
What if you get? No, carry on.
everyone would just learn how to make toasters. That would be.
Well, no, because as soon as the toaster breaks, you die.
But if you've got two toasters, what if you have three?
Nobody. Oh. Also, you'd never get dead on arrival appliances.
They never arrive. 'Cause you-
The postman would just be lying there at the end of the drive. I dropped it.
That's whose toaster is it at that point?
That's tricky.
Mm. You couldn't just have a fragile label on the box, because you have fragile and life-threatening label on the box.
Danger of death.
Yeah, do not drop.
Do not drop. What's the cutoff for an appliance? Is a can opener an appliance?
Well, you can get electric ones.
Has it got to be an electric one to count?
Yeah.
Of course.
Well, you can call a knife an appliance, would you? You probably would now, just to be.
Is it an electric knife?
Of course it is. Oh yeah, electric knives. You get that. What if the electrical thing of it is sort of tangential to its main purpose? So I've got a knife, but actually it plays Happy Birthday. I just use it for cutting cakes.
Yeah, I don't think that's an appliance. I think the function of it has to assist you in its.
It does.
Yeah.
It's,
but the act is cutting cake.
Yes, but it improves the moment, doesn't it? Like if you don't have to sing Happy Birthday, you have your knife to play it for you.
Yeah, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a knife. Like your washing machine could play Happy Birthday to you.
Oh, our washing machine plays a tune to tell you it's finished. Great idea, you might think. You'll hear that from wherever you are in the house. It's not just a beep. Well, no, because when you hear this noise, it doesn't mean that it's finished. It locks the door for another 5 minutes after this tune's played. What is the point in that?
Got an attention-seeking washing machine.
Yes.
Yeah, come and watch. I'm nearly done.
Well, no, because the timer goes off. There's nothing on the display. The lights go out. It just sits there with locking the door for 5 minutes after it's played this tune.
It's so proud of itself. It's like, come and look. I'm finishing my my purpose in life is this. You should witness it.
Yeah, but it's not doing anything at that point.
It's about to finish its task, though.
Yeah, but it's already finished its task.
Well, it counts down, but it'll be on 1 minute, and that 1 minute,
5 minutes.
It's one. It's one something. It's not 1 minute, and it's not consistently 5 minutes. So you can be waiting for your things to come out of the dryer, and you just need I've got no trousers. I need these to be done before I go. I'm just waiting, and it's anywhere between 1 minute and half an hour. It's just.
I think it's the equivalent of the appliance, like just holding a finger up whilst it's having a drink.
Yeah.
It's just like,
yeah.
It's one moment.
One moment.
Well,
so I killed it, and then I died.
that's going to be the opener. We're going to open the podcast with that. And people are going to have to wait right until the end to find out what on earth he was talking about. That's the kind of terrible, terrible trick people could pull. But we're above that. We're above that on the TAFY podcast.
Are we?
Well, I am. It means editing otherwise.
No, that's true.
But I'm gonna call it to a close there, and I'm gonna try and press this stop recording button before anybody pops up with another topic.
So roundabouts.
Thanks very much.